Good afternoon. We will get started shortly. Good afternoon. We will start shortly. I would like to remind everyone to unmute the microphones when speaking.
Okay, everyone, we're going to get this meeting started. My name is Oscar de la Torre. I'm very proud to be the chair of this great meeting today. We're first going to call the meeting to order, and the time is 12:05. We want to welcome everyone for being here at the Westside City's Council of Governments meeting, Thursday, October 10th. And let's see, welcome. Okay, so we want to, we're here in Culver City. Before we start introductions, I would like to recognize a few people that are here today. We want to recognize council members Goran Erickson and Seppi Shines, as this will be their last meeting as COG board members. Councilmember Erickson has served as the COG board member representing the city of Culver City, which we're at today, since 2021. Councilmember Erickson is ending his second term with the city and has served on the city council since 2018. Thank you, Councilmember, for your service and your leadership as our COG chair this past year. Thank you very much.
Actually, I've been on council here since 2016.
Oh, okay. So, yes, thank you for making that correction. I want to remind everyone that before you speak, please unmute your mic so that we can hear you. Also, I want to recognize Council Member Shine. She has served as the COG board member representing the city of West Hollywood since 2021. Councilmember Shine has served on the city council since 2021 and decided not to run for re-election. Thank you, council member, for your service and your leadership as the chair in 2021. We also want to recognize a staff member, Cindy Owens, who will be retiring. I would like to recognize Cindy Owens, the municipal affairs manager in the city of Beverly Hills. She's been working with yes, let's give her a round of applause. She's been working with the Westside COG since 2016, serving as the city's liaison to the COG, and she will be retiring this month. Thank you for your service and congratulations on your retirement. It's also her birthday, so thank you very much for being here. You get extra credit for being here on your birthday. Thank you very much. We will now proceed with a round of introductions and identify today's voting members. So starting over here with Hernan.
Thank you. I'm Hernan Molina, staff for City of West Hollywood for the COG.
I'm Councilmember Seppi Shine, voting member for the City of West Hollywood.
Councilmember Goran Erickson, voting member for City of Culver City.
Vice Mayor Dan O'Brien, non-voting member, alternate for Culver City.
Hello, Austin Sear, serving as alternate for Supervisor Lindsay Horpath.
And I'm going to jump right in ahead of this. And Shelley Wolfberg, assistant to the city manager for City of Culver City. Thanks.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Voting member.
Josh Kirpies, Council Office and Legislative Affairs Liaison for the City of Santa Monica, non-voting member.
Oscar de la Torre, City of Santa Monica, voting member.
Cecilia Estolano, Executive Director, Westside Cities Council of Government.
Winnie Fong with the Westside Cities Council of Governments. Lauren Langer, Counsel for the COG.
Lester Friedman, Mayor of the City of Beverly Hills, voting member.
Cindy Owens, City of Beverly Hills, non-voting member.
Mandy Jane, City of Beverly Hills, non-voting member.
Magdalena Davis, City of Beverly Hills, non-voting member.
Okay, so thank you all very much for your presence here today. We're going to go to item 5B, League of California Cities presentation, your Cal Cities and how to use it. And we have a small shift in the order of the agenda. We will start with item 5B with a presentation from the League of California Cities, and then we will resume our meeting agenda with item 3 on action items. With that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Cao, Mayor of the City of Arcadia, and also the President of the League's LA County Division. Mr. Cao, you have 10 minutes for the presentation, and we will follow with questions and discussion from the board. Welcome, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here in front of the COG. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Michael Cao. I'm the mayor of the City of Arcadia, as well as the president of the LA Division of the League of California Cities. I'll go ahead and start the presentation. If you can go to the next slide. Let's see. Yes, there you go. If you can. So I think most people are familiar with the League of California Cities, so this is just a reintroduction. But I just wanted to share that the League of California Cities were comprised of 477 cities, from small cities to large cities. The key is that we have 58 state board members who are responsible for the supervision, the control, and the direction organization. And the League itself is comprised of many different departments. We have 10 professional departments, 7 policy committees, 16 regional division. The LA division is one of the 16 regional division, and 5 diversity caucuses. And then we have private sector collaborators as well who support our efforts. And then this organization has 70 staff members throughout Sacramento and throughout the entire state. If you go to the next slide. The LA division itself is the largest division in the state. We're comprised of 85 member cities. We have 13 members on the COG. Councilmember Gordon Erickson was our former appointee on the COG, and now currently at Santa Monica Mayor Phil Brock as your appointee on the division of Board of Directors itself. Next slide. So every year, the division, we come and we meet annually to discuss what are the goals for the following year. And so really what we focus on is public safety, we focus on affordable housing, and we focus on homelessness. And we really want to work on protecting and preserving the local decision-making that we represent in our own COG, in our own cities, so that we understand what the issues are which affect us. Next slide. So how does Cal Cities work? Well, how it works is that there's 4 core areas. The first is advocacy, the second is professional development and education, the third is networking, and the fourth is information resources. In regards to advocacy, we work on both a statewide as well as a local process as well too. We work on ballot measures. And so one of the things that I wanted to let everyone know, especially as a COG, is that the legal advocacy that we do is that we represent California cities in federal and state courts by filing Friends of the Court briefs and letters in appellate courts, as well as with the state AG for cases affecting local authority. And then in regards to professional development, this is what I found incredibly useful, is that there's monthly meetings that we have where we have training and events where we get information from the subject matter experts, the industry experts on these issues. And then most importantly, we get to network with the entire county itself because we represent 85 member cities. So we understand that, how does one city work with the similar issue that we have? And then lastly, we have a lot of resources. I'll get into that later on in the slides about that. Next slide. So this slide is something that gives an example of what we do in Cal Cities. So we know that the legislative session in Sacramento ended on August 30th. So this year, the division and the state, from a state standpoint, we took positions on 23 different state bills and then 2 federal bills. So you can see that what we focused on was public safety, retail theft, We focused on housing and land use, which is about local authority. And then also, in regards to Proposition 36, because it affects all cities, we wanted to improve public safety. Now, from a local LA County standpoint, one of the ballot initiatives that we took a position on was for Measure E, which is to increase funding to the Consolidated Fire Protection District here in LA County, because that's really LA County centric. So you can see that Cal Cities works on a federal level, a state level, as well as a county level. And so these are the things that we work on as a collective. Next slide. So we know that this election is going to be a busy one. It's a presidential election, and there's 10 state measures and 3 county measures on the ballot. And what you can see is that from a state standpoint, what Cal Cities took positions on to support was Proposition 4 about climate bond, Proposition 5 about lowering the voter threshold for affordable housing, and then Proposition 36, which is the DA's sponsored ballot initiative about retail theft as well. So these are the positions that is Cal Cities as well as an LA division. And then, like I said, the LA division took a position on Proposition E, Measure E. Next slide. So one of the goals that I have as a division president, so I've been going to my goal is to go to every COG in LA County. We've met with all 5 supervisors. We've met with key organizations within LA County so that we want to engage with our county as well as all of our local city officials so that we can work together. And then the way we can do that is that if we work together, we're much stronger. So how can we get engaged? Well, we can send letters for legislation. We have conferences that are statewide. We have virtual roundtables depending on availability of everyone's time. And then doing this, we learn about, like I said, key policy and legal issues from the subject matter experts themselves. Next slide. So this is how you can stay connected. We have a website. We have a weekly newsletter. We have a monthly online magazine, and obviously the social media. So there's multiple ways to stay connected with Cal Cities. Next slide. So I wanted to put a plug in because every year we have an annual conference, and it actually alternates between Sacramento and here in LA. And the conference is coming up next week here in Long Beach. So the drive is much closer than if we had to fly up to Sacramento. So the conference, our annual conference, is October 16th through the 18th. So it's a 3-day conference. We learn about a lot of issues from the state as well as the local standpoint. But I also wanted to say that as an LA division, we actually have a division lunch on October 16th at 11:30 to 1:15. This year, we have one of our constitutional officers from California coming down to speak with us, the State Controller Malia Cohn, to come to talk to our LA division as well, too. And then lastly, we also have our yearly All Cities Holiday Reception on December 11th. That's going to be at the City Club in downtown LA. It's a great event because we have League of Cities, contract cities, and independent cities. We all get together, and this is a great way to see old friends and to network and share ideas. So next slide. So this is our contact information, the League of California Cities website. Jeff Kiernan, who's here, this is his contact information if you want to have more specific questions about our events or how do I sign up or what are things that the League can help your individual city with. And so I wanted to conclude the presentation today by saying I'm really honored to be here, to be able to share this information, and I'm open for any questions. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everyone's time.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Cow. Any questions? Yes.
So first of all, I want to thank Jeff for his updates all the time. I find them to be very, very helpful. Thank you. In terms of taking a position, what is the percentage of voting members that it takes to take a position on an issue? Is it 50%, 51, 50 plus 1, 60%? How is that determined?
From an LA division standpoint, we have a board of directors that we vote, and typically it's a 50 plus 1 for the LA division to to have the majority on that. So for instance, Measure E, it was actually unanimous to support Measure E for the reassessment for the fire district.
Okay, because there's a couple other more not significant, but contested issues, and the vote was not to 50% to vote on those.
Some of the other measures, and I think that if you're alluding to Measure A and Measure G from a county level, what we decided as a board is that there are certain issues where we want to make sure that we represent as true to what our core values are, which is public safety. That's why Measure E came to a vote. But other issues like Measure A and Measure G, what we decided is that we thought it's best for each individual city to make its own decision so that this way they can best represent their constituents on that issue for their particular city.
So what I'm taking from that is that it was a decision made not to take a position on those matters.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, want to thank you very much, and we look forward to our continued partnership and look forward personally to working with you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone's time. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, we're going back to item 3A. The first action item is the approval of the August 8th board meeting notes. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Was it Councilman Erickson? And seconded by? Okay, by Councilmember Friedman. Okay, we have all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so Seppi Shine, Councilwoman, is abstaining. So please duly noted in the minutes. Now, we have item 3B, Regional Behavioral Health Facility Implementation Strategy Advisory Committee. The next item is the Regional Behavioral Health Facility Implementation Strategy Advisory Committee with a proposed recommendation to discuss and approve the list of advisory committee members submitted by the WSCCOG Homelessness Working Group. I will now turn it over to the COG staff for a report, but right before that, I just want to say that this is such an important item. Moving people off the streets into treatment is such a priority for our county, and I'm very excited that this is moving forward. So, Winnie, you want to tell us what's next?
Yes. Riley, can you advance to the next slide? This one, yes. Yes, so now we're back to talk about the advisory committee, just to refresh everyone's memory. The purpose is to support the implementation of a regional behavioral health facility on the west side. We have funding from the County Local Solutions Fund to hire a technical consultant, and we've been learning a lot from Santa Monica's work on the behavioral health facility study. So hoping that this technical consultant can take this work on a regional scale. And to do that, we decided with the homelessness working group, recommended that we form an advisory committee as a way to advise and collaborate with the board, the consultant, and the relevant stakeholders. It is meant to be a cross-sector interagency coordination in this effort. Riley, next slide. Where to begin? We presented this list to the board back in June, and we looked at different existing commissions or regional coordinations, and we really built this one from the Blue Ribbon Commission on the Regional Leadership Council, which looked at these broad 12 categories. We then, next slide, Riley. I think I could talk about this slide. The role of the advisory committee would basically touch on various topics that would lead us into developing analyses and a recommendation for the board. That might include developing an RFP to evaluate the technical consultant, identify regional operational needs, advise on site and cost analyses, identify potential funding opportunities, operators and partnerships, and defining basically any decision-making structure within this, this proposed regional facility. Next slide. In terms of timeline, we've been meeting with the Homelessness Working Group since July to solicit recommendations for individuals to serve on this committee. We also, it was a lengthy process, which we can, actually, what page is it on? On the agenda packet, the list that we've actually started creating is on page 19 on the agenda packet. This is a list where we've asked each member city to come back to our homelessness working group to identify and recommend at least one individual in each category. As you may see on the list, we don't have a individual recommended for everyone just yet, but this is a good list to start. We are very mindful of people's time and capacity, and we understand that this list is very expansive, but it is intentional to ensure that the COG captures all of the subject matter expertise, identify the needs, and develop recommendations for this facility. So we plan to share out all materials and agendas in advance to allow committee members to assess whether their participation is needed, and we will actively seek out input and reach out to members whose roles are critical to specific discussions and ensure their involvement. And in areas where we, depending on where the conversations lead from advisory committee, we may establish ad hoc committee to discuss, to focus on discussion on specific topics and report back to the advisory committee. So once we've developed this list, we've met again on a monthly basis to vet the list, and then also have our cities conduct outreach to these individuals to determine their interests and capacity to serve on this advisory committee. So the list on the agenda packet is a compilation of those who have indicated their interests and capacity. So today we request that the board discuss and improve this list of committee members, and we hope to schedule a kickoff meeting sometime in November. The draft agenda for that is on page 24. Riley, can you advance to 24, please? And this is an example of what our kickoff meeting would look like, which is introducing everyone in the committee, discuss and review our work plan ahead, and also a presentation to learn more about Santa Monica's behavioral health feasibility study, and start talking about the draft RFP for the technical consultant. So we can open up for questions.
Yeah, so any questions? And really, the focus is on any part of the presentation or mainly the list of the committee members being presented? Committee members. So any questions, concerns, comments regarding the list of the committee members that are listed here? Yes, Councilmember Erickson.
Thank you. This is an extensive list, so the easy way is to go with this. And I know that for our city, we have submitted more than one name to a certain position, and that's because when we talk to the individuals and they realize the amount of work that might develop, they say, well, I don't know. So that's really why we have suggest alternative or alternates in this. But my question is really, one thing would be that this group starts to cull the list and bring it down in size, which I think is going to be rather hard work and maybe not always productive. But my question is that do staff see that the size of this group is workable?
Yes, we talked about this. I don't think this was included in the slide, but we did create a matrix where we've outlined here are some of the topics that will be discussed in the session and kind of identify who are the critical participants in those. These meetings, I don't imagine them being mandatory, but very highly encouraged. And Cecilia, feel free to weigh in on process-wise, but these agendas will be provided ahead of time to join the virtual meetings to ensure that everyone can participate. And we also will allow comments on deliverables and whatnot via email. Cecilia?
Yeah, if I can address that, it's a lot of people, obviously. We wanted to make a very inclusive list because what will, as we all know, what will happen is the group will shake out. And so, but we wanted to make sure that every city, every member of the COG had an opportunity to suggest representatives from all the different stakeholder groups. It's really important that everybody feels like they had a sense of our folks are represented. So we know it'll shake out. We're very confident that we can manage that, and we have a defined scope of what we want them to consider. And we also don't want to waste people's time. So if we have good agendas, and we tell them we're going to talk about this topic, this topic, this topic, people will shake out, and those who are most interested and have the most relevant experience will attend, and we will do more proactive outreach if, say, for example, we really need to have a particular voice in that call. So I appreciate the question, Council Member. It's an enormous list. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy that you have had the same thoughts, and it seems like you have sort of resolved the issue internally, that you can actually handle this. And so thank you for the answer.
Any other further questions? Yes, Councilmember Friedman.
I think I wanted to share some of the concerns. I hear what you're saying, that there's going to be a shakeout. The reality is, by the sheer numbers, it's designed to have the shakeout. And I'm just wondering, that's certainly one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is to divide and say certain cities should be staffing certain areas with their expertise. Obviously, the decision looks like it was made to go the other way. I think I would have preferred there having been assignments to cities by having subject matter expertise and interest as to each of those specialties. But if let's see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, Mayor Freeman, I hear you. It's challenging we're balancing the interests of 5 cities in the county. It would be tough to decide who's going to represent the faith community. And so many faiths are in this. So it's difficult for us to kind of cull this down by city. As you'll note, so many of these are about areas of expertise, for example, mental health, lived experience, hospitals, substance abuse. There's different categories that we're trying to achieve and trying to represent. But I hear you. I tend to like to have smaller groups. But in something as significant as a regional facility like this that we have not done before, we felt it made a lot of sense to be more inclusive than to try to cull the list, which could take quite a bit of time. So again, this is not typically the way we would organize one, but we also understand there's a lot of interest in making sure many voices are heard and represented in the room.
And I'll certainly accept that, and perhaps it'll shake out the right way, and the cream will rise to the top, or whatever. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Shine.
Yes, thank you. I actually, I have the opposite point of view, that this is a really inclusive list, and I'm really impressed. I want to thank our staff for the incredible work in the City of West Hollywood, putting the list of people together. Having this many voices is actually, I agree, essential to the criticalness of this subject. And the success of it, whether it shakes out in whatever way, is really going to be up to the leaders running the meetings, really, at the end of the day, to figure all that out. So I trust that there will be efficiency and opportunities created for people's voices to be heard and successful outcomes.
Great. Any further questions, comments? Okay, seeing none. Well, we're going to build the plane and fly it, and the crisis on the streets demands that we move forward. So thank you very much, staff, and we look forward to updates to see how we're going.
We'd love to have a formal motion approving the list to move forward.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Shine, Councilmember Erickson, seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. And appreciate all the work on this item. Thank you very much, staff. Okay, so the next item is item 3C, Regional Early Action Planning, REAP 2.0 resolution. The next item on the agenda is the REAP with a proposed recommendation to adopt a resolution to accept the REAP 2.0 grant award. I will now turn it over to the COG staff for a report.
Yeah, and I'll just, again, to refresh your recollection, there were REAP awards that were made, REAP 2.0. We got about $330,000 allocated to this sub-region. Then in the budget discussions, the program had been eliminated. It's been restored. And so now SCAG has brought those grants back into play. We're in the midst of negotiating a funding agreement with SCAG to receive that information. And what we are asking is that the board approve our ability to receive the funds. We're going to be using them, again, to refresh your recollection, to develop a regional housing trust implementation plan and provide on-call technical assistance services, which your cities have used, by the way, in the last round. They've been pretty successful. So the next step in the process would be, if you enable us to receive these funds, is that we would enter into an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with SCAG, and that requires that the Council of Government adopt a resolution to accept the funds. We have a draft resolution in the packet that Lauren Langer, our legal counsel, has reviewed. We would like to have you all adopt this resolution so we can proceed with the REAP work. We would then come back to the board and give you the signed copy of it. We have no reason to believe it's going to change substantially. It's really just a form resolution. And then we can get going on convening the housing working group and get them engaged in the process of reviewing and evaluating consultant proposals to provide the implementation work and the TA, the technical assistance. So we would then come back to you once we have that, those list of consultants that we would recommend engage in a contract with the COG, and we'd bring that to you for the December board meeting, our hope. Yeah, that's going to be fast. We want to get the money out. So the action that we're asking is that you approve the draft resolution enabling us to move forward and enter into that agreement with SCAG and enable us to move forward on selecting consultants to implement the program.
Great. Any questions, comments, concerns before we entertain a motion? Yes, Councilwoman Shine.
No, I wanted to move the
Make the motion. Okay, so
motion to move.
a motion made by Councilwoman Shine, seconded by, yes, Councilmember Erickson.
I'll second it.
Okay. Councilmember Friedman seconds. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so the ayes have it. Thank you very much for bringing this item forward. Look forward to seeing this work continue. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 3D, LA County Government Structures, Ethics, and Accountability Charter Amendment. This is a follow-up from the last meeting on our discussion for the LA Charter Amendment Measure G, which will be on the ballot this November 5th. Last August, the COG Board approved the motion to direct our cities to return to their respective councils to discuss their position on the measure and then come back to the COG Board for discussion and action. To facilitate this discussion, I'd like to go around the table for each city to share a recap of their city council discussions and decisions, and then determine whether the COG adopt a position or take no position on Measure G. So do we want to go around the room? Oh, yes, why don't we hear, Austin, would you like to go first? Okay. Okay, so no action since the last meeting. Anybody else want to report on their discussions regarding Measure G? Yes, Councilwoman Shine.
No action since the last.
No action as well. Councilman Erickson.
Yeah, we have had discussions at the City Council, and we actually voted 5-0 for a no position at our council. And the main issue was the creation of CO with no term limit, which really concerned not just the council, but some of the public. The issue with expanding the board That was not really the problem. It was that there was a CEO without terms that was created. And so actually it became a 5-0 no. So our position here is going to be no, that the COG should not. It should actually go for oppose.
Anyone else would like to weigh in? Councilmember Friedman.
Our city voted, and it was a 4-1 vote to oppose the matter. The concerns were the election of the CEO and the term of the CEO, really the future costs, which I know it was said that it wouldn't cost, but I don't think the majority felt that that was a reality. So our position was a no on it.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else? I guess that would leave Santa Monica. Yeah, so we also had a discussion, brought this item forward, and we voted to take no position. And the main reason was similar to what the outcomes of the discussion in Culver City, and also in Beverly Hills, which the concern was that, the executive position, no term limits, and people generally felt good about expanding the Board of Supervisors, but that was a major concern, and so we voted to take no position.
If I could just add, our position was the same. We would have liked to see the board expanded. It was just it was all the ancillary issues that I mentioned that were a concern.
Great. So that's great feedback. Yes, Councilmember Erickson.
Yeah, we also, in our discussion, we also said that a number of the ethics things that are proposed, the Board of Supervisors actually can do already today. Not all of them, but some of them already are within their purview. But to follow my council's direction, I make a motion that the COG would take a no position, or oppose, I should say. And let's vote and see where we end up.
Okay, so the motion on the table is to oppose the measure. Okay, so Councilmember Erickson makes that motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
You want to do a substitute motion, or?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to propose a substitute motion of no position.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion on the table now for a vote is a position of no position. And so we'll go ahead and take a vote on that first. All those in favor of, excuse me? Oh, do we need to do roll call?
I don't think the first motion got a second, so I don't think the first motion is alive. So you just have the motion to take no action is alive at the moment.
That's what's on the table. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Oppose.
One opposition. Any abstentions? Okay. The ayes have it. So we will be taking no position. The Westside COG is no position on Measure G. That takes us to the next measure on the ballot, which is Measure A. Similar to the last item, this is a follow-up from the last meeting on our discussion for the Housing and Homelessness Ballot Measure A. The board approved the motion to include the item on this month's agenda for discussion and action. We understand that some of the city councils have discussed and taken a position. To facilitate this discussion, I'd like to go around the table as well for each city to share a recap of the city council discussions and decisions on Measure A, and then determine whether the COG adopt a position or take no position on this measure. So do we want to start on this side first, or, yeah?
We said no. We said no.
Yeah. Mayor Friedman.
Yes, thank you. And I think it was unanimous, right? 4-1 also? Okay. Yeah, so we took, we took a position, and it was 4-1, to oppose the matter as it being a regressive tax measure. We didn't feel that it was appropriate, and that was our position.
Great, thank you. So the city of Beverly Hills was a no on Measure A.
Correct.
Okay, and I guess that'll go us. We did have a discussion, and we voted to support Measure A. It was a unanimous vote with concerns about accountability, that we did have some concerns, regarding oversight, accountability, and so forth. But ultimately, our city council voted unanimously to approve Measure A. Anybody else would like to go next? Councilmember Erickson.
Our council voted 4-1 to support the measure. The concern that were expressed was that the local return was not nearly close to what is needed, right? So that was the concern, but it passed 4-1. So we are supporting the proposition.
Okay. Yes, next, Councilwoman Shine.
Thank you. We're not taking a position on this.
So there's a no position,
No
from
position.
your council. Okay. So being that we do have differences here.
Can I question
Sure.
something?
Yes.
I just, in terms of the past practice of the COG, if there is not unanimity, has there been a practice not to take a position?
Yes.
I would think that would be a fair position if there's not a majority from the cities that make up this body. Do you have a?
Yeah, I mean, since we've been the executive director, that's been the custom, the practice. It's not written anywhere, but the practice has been unless there's unanimity among the cities, the COG typically doesn't take a position. I can't remember a time when that's happened during our tenure.
And it was before.
Yeah.
The same before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in part of my position or my vote on the last matter, and I would, if it's appropriate to make a motion, I would make that motion that we take no position.
Second that.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Mayor Friedman, second by Councilwoman Shine. And any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's go for a vote. All those in favor for the West Side COG to take a position of no position, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? And any abstentions?
Aye.
One abstention. Okay, so it's going to, so the ayes have it, it'll be a no position with one abstention.
Not a no position, no position.
Yeah, our position is no position. Okay. Okay, so that takes us to the executive director's report. Cecilia, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be brief. Really want to just refer you to the agenda packet on the discussions with the transportation and homelessness working groups. You'll see the discussions that we've had over the last couple of months in those working groups. I also want to note you have in your packets some support letters that we sent as directed by this body. One is a letter of support for the Metro K-Line Northern Extension San Vicente Fairfax alignment. We had a presentation around this at our last meeting, and we dutifully sent a letter to Metro articulating the board's position for that alignment. And second, we've signed and sent a letter regarding the West LA Armory redevelopment request, noting the COG's desire that the redevelopment explore strategies for citing a crisis stabilization and substance use disorder services center at the West LA Armory. Since they're looking at other things, this would be a terrific place to perhaps cite that use. So those two letters are in your packet. And with that, that concludes my report.
Okay, any questions for Cecilia? All right, seeing none, thank you very much for that report. That takes us to item 6, legislation. For this item, we will turn it over to Jeff. Oh, item 5, yeah, I need to wear glasses. Okay, so fighting it. Jeff Kiernan for an update from the League of California Cities. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Chair. I just want to expand a little bit. The discussion around some of the county measures very much mirrored the discussion we had at our division board. As many of you know, I know many of you are registered. The annual conference is next week. We're looking forward to that. And State Controller Cohen, who's going to speak to our division meeting. I did want to call out the link and the QR code that I put in your packet that really it includes a vote record of local area legislators on how they voted on the priority legislation for Cal Cities and the division. I encourage you to use that information when you talk to your legislators, and thank them for their votes when they sort of agreed with you and with us and your city, and then to sort of rib them a little bit if they voted against your city interests. sort of off of my report, I did want to mention, I know that I was asked by the chair to speak a little bit about needle exchange or syringe distribution, as I'm sort of reframing it. The Cal Cities had a roundtable of members who got together and spoke virtually about this topic a few weeks back. I know we did have a few folks from representing cities in this room who were participating in that. That was really sort of a first step in gathering information from our membership from all over the state to hear about how that issue is taking, what's going on with that issue in their cities. Our lobbyist and I have had several conversations about this, sort of following what's going on in Santa Monica and other places around LA County. We are considering legislation in the new year on this, but we are still in that gathering of information phase. So I know I've reached out to your staff as well to talk about possibly setting up something in the coming weeks so that our lobbyist and we can all get together and chat. But I'm happy to do that with other cities as well. So past that, I'm happy to answer any questions on my report or expound on anything if there's interest. I know we're running a very tight ship today. We've got more time than I expected.
Yes, any questions?
Yeah,
yes, Councilmember Erickson.
Any major issues for the meeting next week? I know that there is one proposal from Glendora, I think it is, city of, or whatever. Is there anything else that you know that's going to pop up?
I have not heard of any. You're speaking about possibly the resolutions for the General Assembly. I have not heard of any additional petitioned resolutions, which would require, I believe it's 60% of the voting delegates on site before Thursday morning. So I expect that the one resolution may be our only one. The packet of information, for those of you who are registered for the conference, I sent an email yesterday with an update on that. Our Governance, Transparency, and Labor Relations Committee met and discussed the resolution and amended it significantly, sort of pulled back on some of the more inflammatory language that was directed at the state and cleaned up the measure a little bit, in my opinion or summary of it. So I think if you are the voting delegate, you should have also received an email, I believe this morning, with an updated packet. That packet's on our website and also available on that link that I included in the report.
Great. Any other questions for Jeff?
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeff, very much. Keep working hard. Okay, next is there are a few informational items on the agenda from SCAG and Compassionate Santa Monica. Does the board have any questions related to the information provided under these items? Okay, seeing none. We have, yes.
I want to make one more announcement. Go right ahead. We wanted to note the save the date for an in-person meeting of the LA County City Selection Committee. Oh my. Okay, Thursday, that would be next Thursday, October 17th at 11 a.m., happening at the Cinemark at the Pike Movie Theater, auditorium number 7, not number 1 or 6, but number 7, 99 South Pine Avenue in Long Beach. It's across from the Hyatt Convention Center. I know it's often difficult for them to get the quorum necessary, the minimum vote necessary to make and ratify appointments. So we just wanted to make sure you all are aware of that, and you can have city representatives. Again, Thursday, October 17th at 11 a.m., Cinemark Pike Movie Theater in Long Beach. The appointments that are going to be looked at are to the Library Commission, 2 appointments to the County Library Commission, Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction Committee, Review Committee, really important committee, by the way, that gives out a lot of money. The ratification of a representative to the LA County Executive Committee for Regional Homelessness Alignment, and an overview regarding the appointment of 1 member to the Measure R Independent Taxpayers Oversight Committee of Metro. Anyway, that's what's going to happen. Please make sure somebody shows up from your city so people can get these appointments done. Thank you.
Great. On the 17th, then, at 11 a.m., 99 South Pine Avenue in Long Beach.
And we have a public comment.
Okay. Any other announcements? All right. Seeing none, We do, yes, oh, go ahead, yes. Ms. Owens.
Well, I want to thank our fellow staff members in other cities. Last week, LA County had a public health agreement template on the Board of Supervisors agenda. It got delayed for 2 weeks to allow cities to carefully take a look at that agreement because it does have a requirement for cities to adopt parts of Title 11 out of the county public health code. And in the future, should there be any new ordinances or amendments to Title 11, they would just have to notify city managers they were going into effect, and we would have to then make those part of our municipal code. So we sent out an email just asking cities to take a close look at that and run it by their councils, their attorneys, and look for feedback, because that will come back to the board in 2 weeks.
Great, thank you very much for that information. We have a member of the public that'd like to address us. So would that member of the public like to come on up and make your public comments?
So I believe that member of the public is actually online.
Online.
So that is Zoe under item 6B in our agenda packet, compassionate communities. So Zoe, I will unmute you now online, and then you should be able to speak, and the board will be able to hear you in just a moment.
Okay. Whenever you want me to speak, let me know.
We can hear you now, Zoe. Go.
Okay, thank you. Oscar asked me to be brief because you had a full agenda, and I'm going to abide by that. The information on item 6B is self-explanatory. The Charter for Compassion is coming in its 15th year. It came from the TED conference, and it's a coalition of cities and governments and institutions outside of governments around the world. The city of Santa Monica signed the Charter for Compassion in 2013 on September 23rd, and we are asking other cities in California to do the same. Counties also have signed it. The most recent one was Napa Valley, and I'm working with Supervisor Horvath's office to make LA County a compassionate county as well. The city of Pomona has done incredible work with this platform, and if you have any questions, to present it to your city council and be part of the Compassionate Cities movement, just send me an email and I will go and do a presentation at your next city council meeting. Thank you so much for letting me share today.
Thank you very much. Okay, I guess that leads us to future meetings and agenda items. Our next meeting will be Thursday, December 12th, 2024 at West Hollywood Library Building. And I guess that's it. A motion to adjourn.
Sorry, Chair, we do have two other public comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. Okay, and these are all online as well?
Yes, that is correct. There's one written and then two online. So I'll turn it over to the folks online as well. I believe they're speaking on the same topic as Zoe. So we can start by unmuting Joanne.
Oh my goodness, I thought Riley. Hi everyone, greetings. I'm with Zoe. I work as a leadership person at the California level, and we have lots of compassionate communities that are with us. Actually, the most recent was Santa Barbara County joined us, but Sacramento, as mentioned, Pomona, Rancho Cucamonga. We've got lots and hope that you'll join us. So if it's okay, I'll just read what I wrote. I am writing on behalf of Compassionate California, a California organization modeled after the International Charter for Compassion. As part of our work, we support the development of a growing network of California compassionate communities. We were very pleased to work with the California State Legislature in passing a Compassionate California resolution that became effective on September the 10th of 21. This resolution recognizes the benefits of compassionate action through every sector of our civic and community life and lays the groundwork for growing compassionate public policy and governments. As Zoe mentioned, Santa Monica was one of our early communities to affirm on September in 2013. Others include, as I mentioned, Pomona, Rancho Cucamonga, Sacramento. The counties of Santa Clara has been a big supporter, as well as Santa Barbara recently, the county of Santa Barbara. We hope that the WSCCOG as a regional voice and each of its member agencies will join the movement with us. We're here to support in any way, and Zoe is taking the lead. I'm just here to support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanne. We do have Marilyn as well online, so we can unmute Marilyn in just a moment. I will. Yeah, Marilyn, you should be able to speak now. Go ahead.
It's an honor to be here today. I'm Marilyn Turkovich, and I'm the executive director of the Charter for Compassion, which has become an international movement that promotes understanding and compassion as a fundamental value in communities. Currently, we are close to 600 cities in almost 56 countries, I believe, at this point. And the Charter promotes policies and actions based on the principles of the Golden Rule and emphasizes compassion as the bedrock for solving social challenges, fostering civic engagement, and ensuring that policies reflect the dignity and well-being of all citizens. In effect, it's a collaboration between citizens and local governments, and we're best known for fostering inclusive and resilient communities, enhancing civic engagement and public well-being, and supporting economic resilience. Just as the California legislature set the standards by adopting the Charter as the first official state in the U.S. By the way, the first official country was Australia, which has endorsed the Charter twice. We hope that you will consider how the COG can set the standard for progressive and inclusive urban development in California. Thank you.
Mayor Friedman.
If that's the last public comment, I have an announcement I wanted to make.
There is one more.
One more.
Public comment. So this is again on the same topic, and this was from John Boswell. And John wrote to us, I am writing on behalf of Rainbow Advocacy, a Los Angeles-based 501c3 nonprofit which has partnered with the International Charter for Compassion 2012. Throughout these years, we have supported the vision and mission of the Compassionate Cities initiatives across California, developing awards for local organizations, and spearheading the Compassionate West Hollywood initiative in May 2023. I have personally been involved in West Side Chambers of Commerce and initiatives for the past 30 years, including West Hollywood and Beverly Hills as a board member and other West Side coalitions. My personal involvement with the Compassionate California efforts to establish the first compassionate state in the California State Legislature in 2021 further confirmed the benefits of compassionate action in our local, civic, and community lives. I am hopeful that the Westside COG will join this compassionate movement as we continue to commit our time and resources in creating and furthering compassionate initiatives and programs. And again, that is John Boswell, President of Rainbow Advocacy. And that is the last public comment.
Thank you very much. Mayor Friedman, you have an announcement.
Yes. So in June of this year, I had the opportunity with 13 other mayors to go to Israel with Combat Anti-Semitism Movement. And we went to the site of the Nova Festival. We went to Kibbutz Be'eri, which is one of the kibbutzim that were overrun. Went to the foreign ministry and met with several mayors in Israel. The group Combat Anti-Semitism Movement is a nationwide group bringing awareness to anti-Semitism and the rise of anti-Semitism, and they asked us, that is the city of Beverly Hills, if we would host a seminar in Beverly Hills, and we did come to an agreement with them and are hosting one that will be held in the city of Beverly Hills December 11th through December 13th. All mayors and council members are invited to attend. They can sign up through the Combat Anti-Semitism movement. Some of the expenses are, in fact, covered by the group, and I think the registration is covered by them for any mayor or city council person, but they also already have 180 mayors who are planning on attending. So I would encourage anyone who wants to attend to do so. It's also open, some of the events are open to the public, and they can also register through that website. Just briefly, on Wednesday night is when the opening is. There will be opening speakers. On Thursday all day there are plenary sessions that will be held, and then on Friday it's a half a day also plenary session and a luncheon. So if there is interest, please sign up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, I just want to thank you very much, Mayor Friedman, for that announcement. Very important, very timely, and we definitely want to support anything that's going to promote anti-Semitism in our society. So thank you. Councilmember Erickson.
As a follow-up to that, I just want to announce that we have an exhibition here in Culver City. It's called the Nova Exhibition, and it's going on until October 20th, so there's still time. If you haven't seen it, it is fascinating, worrisome, and basically at the end, you feel that there is light at the end of the tunnel, but it describes exactly what happened at the Nova Festival. And they have a lot of artifacts, or whatever we should call it, from the festival. The porta potties that we've seen on sort of different clips from there are there, and you see the bullet holes and everything. It's impactful, but it's not like it's not like you feel really. I wouldn't go there for a date, but other than that, I recommend you. The website is novaexhibition.com, and the tickets are free. And there is about 700-800 people every day that are going to that exhibition. So it's here in Culver City.
The venue, where's the venue?
When you register, you will get the address.
Oh, okay.
It's in our Hayden Track area. So it's just on the other side. Yeah.
I just wanted to say I appreciate the metaphor from Joran as to the light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm sure that's what all the hostages would like to see.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you all very much. Very important announcements. Any other announcements before we adjourn? Okay, so a motion to adjourn made by Councilwoman Shine.
So move.
Yes, I saw you.
I can second that.
And seconded by Councilman Erickson. I keep looking at you. Okay, so all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, no abstentions. Thank you very much. And we are right on time. Thank you. Oh, quick announcement in recognizing our outgoing council members, Erickson and Shine, and also Ms. Owens, for your retirement and your birthday. We have chocolate cake and cheesecake in the back. So you all are welcome to some chocolate cake and cheesecake. Some of you already got it, but you can get seconds. Thank you very much.